Welcome back, Exorcist fans. We are continuing with part 3 of my commentary and analysis of the season finale of the Exorcist TV series entitled Chapter 10, 3 Rooms. Now, there are a few minor spoilers left to go over, so once again, if you have not seen the show, please do feel free to either skip this review for a later time and come back to it, or if you're ready to proceed, let's go forward. Now, this final wrap-up will be short out of necessity because there's really not that much left to go over. So I just wanted to, summarize a few more things here at this point, and then we'll conclude this video. So here we are at the conclusion of all things. The Pazuzu has been defeated. He has been exorcised and expunged from Angela's body. The Rance family has been freed from the tyranny and the dominion that Pazuzu held over them. Pope Sebastian has been saved from being assassinated by Simon. We see here that Bennett is alive, and I am glad to see that because Bennett is an excellent character in my opinion, and I do like his character, along with the other two of our good Holy Fathers right here. Or I should have said three good fathers, other two good fathers, that is being Marcus and Tomas there. But I do like all of these characters, but I am especially glad that Bennett is alive because they did put him in some serious jeopardy, and there was cause to believe that perhaps he had been killed by another traitor whom we still know is out there. Father Guillaume, Cardinal Guillaume is still out there as a traitor to the Vatican. So we still know that this conspiracy is going ahead. In different ways. Sebastian, it was a primary target, but as we learn later, he was not the only target. So let's get to that after I summarize it a little bit more. So I just wanted to summarize Bennett's character to this point by saying that we have seen a man of integrity, a man of intelligence, a man of courage, character, and understanding when it comes to things both natural and supernatural. In fact, Simon called him the politician earlier on in this episode, and that is probably a good one good way to characterize him, but it is not the only way to characterize this very important man of the cloth. He is in fact a prefect of papal outreach and security, as we learn from the second episode, I think, of the series. But he's definitely much more than that, as we have been able to see. So I'm glad that this character is alive, and I hope to see more of him as this series continues in the future. Of course, as we go forward from here, we do see that Tomas and Marcus have now moved on with other areas of their lives, but at the same time, we do see that it is Tomas that is asking Marcus, what will you do from here? And Marcus is basically saying that he basically will go wherever the winds take him at this point. At this point in the story, Tomas asks Marcus if he is willing to stay, train him to be an exorcist on the caliber that he is already at, and perhaps even to a greater level at some point in the future. And perhaps this is the beginning, in my opinion, of these two men perhaps being able to grow together as both men of the cloth, as both exorcists, and of course, as I believe they in fact will become friends, as they have already started to develop a relationship in that manner of becoming good friends and men who count on one another, who have one another's back, not just in the spirit of priestly brotherhood, not simply in the spirit of Christian brotherhood, but in the spirit of manly brotherhood itself, which is something that is a positive trait when it is used correctly. So I think that these two are going to grow as the series goes on. I'm looking forward to that, seeing that relationship become greater and deeper. And I'm looking to seeing the kinds of the character, courage, and understanding that is manifested in Marcus be manifested in Tomas, but at the same time, the compassion, the kindness, and the loving kindness that Tomas manifests be manifested in different ways in Marcus. If you want to put it in a different way, I guess you can say that Marcus is kind of like the sharpened sword of this arrangement, of this relationship, and perhaps you can liken Tomas to a kind and gentle spirit that will, I guess you could say, in some ways help to temper that sharpened sword a bit. Even though Marcus already has a lot of those qualities himself, I think they can be made more manifest. Any of you who know what I'm talking about, whom you have friends who help to temper your own disposition a little bit or change it, then you understand what I'm saying. This is a very easy thing to see as people do change one another, as they do, in fact, help one another to grow in ways that they may be inadequate in. So this is the relationship that is that seems to be springing forward right now. And it is something that will probably go forward as we see the series progress. Marcus has agreed to stay behind or stay with Tomas and train him to be an exorcist. So let's see what happens in that regard as we go forward. Now here's where we learn that Maria Walters has in fact gotten exactly what she wanted all of this time, to be in fact integrated as a union of human and demonic entity. She is in her limousine with Police Superintendent Jaffe, who himself, as we know, is also integrated. And we're seeing this demonic eye inside of Maria Walters' eye as well. So she's showing Jaffe through this that she has now gotten exactly what she wants, and he, in fact, says that. But there is more to this than just that. Maria Walters notes to Superintendent Jaffe that Sebastian was not the only goal. He was not the primary goal. He was one target, perhaps among many. We don't know exactly what what their other goals might be, or maybe even that Superintendent Jaffe may not even be aware of what the other goals are. But there are apparently other goals, according to Maria Walters. And so this is the setup here for letting us know that they do intend to take this series forward to other levels. They do intend to take it forward into other directions and other storylines. The assassination or attempted assassination of Pope Sebastian was not the only end goal. There may be other things that they have in mind, and I myself have quite frankly thought that was in fact the case, that the assassination of Sebastian, were it successful, and thankfully it was not, but were it successful, was probably not the end goal, the end game that they had in mind. So we're going to see what's going on here as these two continue to be, apparently at this point, the two known members of the conspiracy that we are aware of. There are other people who are still out there. Those priests are still out there who escaped the assassination after Marcus killed Simon. Those men are still out there. Cardinal Guillot is still out there. And we don't know how many other members of Tattersall Landscaping who are possessed may be out there as well. So we see that this conspiracy will proceed forward, and this, of course, is the writers and the producers' way of letting us know that they do intend to go forward with another season should they be successful at Renewal. So hopefully that will happen, and we'll be able to see a deepening and broadening of this conspiracy into different directions and into even more sinister goals as time goes on, and this will definitely provide us with some great and excellent drama. Considering the writing that we've already had for this first season, I expect even better milestones to be, and greater milestones, that is, to be reached in the future with the second season as it proceeds. I have to include this part where Tomas says that he didn't understand why God chose him, but he decided to do exactly what he believes God wants him to do, which is to get out of the boat and walk. And if any of you are aware of what he's talking about, this is, of course, a reference to Jesus walking on water, and Peter seeing him on the water, walking apparently on the water, a physically impossible thing to do. Peter sees Jesus walking on the water, and he decides to get out of the water and walk toward Christ at that point as a show of his faith. And of course, you know the story. If you're biblically literate, Peter sinks and Christ saves him, telling him, of course, that I told you that you could, in fact, walk in this water. As Tomas says earlier in the series, why didn't you believe me? Now, those are not the direct words of Christ, but that is, of course, Tomas's paraphrasing. That's just his retelling, should I say, of this particular story. in the Bible. So Tomas has decided to emulate that idea. He is going to take a leap of faith, get out of the boat, and start walking in the direction that he believes God has asked him to do. And Father Marcus backs that idea up by saying, well, if that's what you believe God has asked you to do, then that's what you're going to do, and I'm going to help you to do it. So I appreciate these two acts of faith by these two men of the cloth, and I think we're going to see greater things from them as this series goes forward. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, by the way, this is not related to The Exorcist, but for those of you who might be interested, our favorite warrior priest here, the Punisher, Marcus, Ben Daniels, was in another story that I actually saw. And this is a very prolific actor, so he's in a lot of things. But I'm relating this because I recently got the chance to see Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and Ben Daniels is in fact in that in the movie as one of the Rebel Alliance leaders. So if you get a chance, if you want to see Star Wars, if you want to see the Rogue One, a Star Wars story movie, look for Ben Daniels. I was pleasantly surprised to see him there. I thought I recognized him, and I said to myself, wait a minute, is that Ben Daniels there? Yeah, and then it was. It certainly was. And I confirmed that by looking at the credits for the movie. So if you want to see him in something different besides The Exorcist, something that is current and out right now, then take a chance at a gander at Rogue One and check him out there. So as we wrap up this season, we see that the Rance family has moved to a new location. They have left the former things behind them, and they are moving forward with their lives in peace and in happiness and joy and love and union with one another. And this, of course, is a positive end to all of the things that we have seen at this point in the series. I do have a quick question, though. Seeing Catherine's injury to her knee, I am wondering if her dancing career or her dancing aspirations may be perhaps, if not over, or if they may in fact be postponed or delayed. I certainly hope to see her continuing to dance in the future, so hopefully this will not be a permanent injury that will impede her desires to exercise those wonderful talents that she has. Casey, of course, has been freed. We don't know exactly what her future aspirations will be at this point, but hopefully she will go on to do whatever those kinds of things are that she would choose to do in life, free and clear of the kinds of shackles that she has had to endure as a result of the possession. But now that she has been liberated from that, hopefully she will be able to go on and aspire to even greater things of her own right. Of course, we see also that Henry and Angela are also happy and safe at this point. I hope that that Angela having her back broken is also not a permanent injury to her, but she is in a wheelchair, as you can see at this time, and so hopefully we will see how that progresses as time goes on. But at this point, she also has been liberated from the influence and the captivity of Pazuzu, and hopefully we will not have to see her endure another demonic possession in her life ever again, and hopefully Pazuzu has been banished forever from Angela's life and from the family's life as a whole, all the former things being passed away and new areas of enjoyment and greatness will await this family. Henry, of course, is now free and clear to help lead this family in the direction that it should be going, and this is something I would also like to see, just to let you know, though. I'd also like to see a little bit more development of Henry's character. He played an auxiliary role in this season, and properly so, as most of the action and the story was centered on Angela and of course on Casey. But I would like to see Henry's role expanded in this next season to see if they continue with this family. That is, I'd like to see how how he deals with various things according to whatever might be going on as this family goes into the future. Should, of course, the storyline be centered around this family in next season. I hope it is. We'll see what happens. So, to wrap up things, I found this to be a very enjoyable series, ladies and gentlemen. And should this series not return, I will definitely say that this has been a very charmed storyline and a very charmed end to a series that I did not expect, personally, to be as good as it has turned out to be, at least not in those first couple of episodes. I started becoming more and more intrigued by this after the third episode, and from there on, I was hooked on watching it until its conclusion, and I'm glad I chose to stick with it, and I'm glad I chose to give it a chance, even though my first inclination was to say, well, nah, it didn't look that good to me. But nonetheless, it has been, and I have enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you have enjoyed taking the time to listen to and watch my reviews and to add your own commentary to some of the things that I've had to say about it. I look forward to a continuing dialogue with you as you continue to watch the series and look at my reviews. Thank you, everyone who has decided to support my channel by watching these reviews, and those of you who have decided to subscribe to me as a consequence of that. Please feel free to continue to contribute, and please feel free to direct me to other Exorcist fans who do reviews on YouTube. We can always engage in an exchange of ideas, and that is always something fun to do. So until next season, I believe that this show will return. I hope you think it will as well. And so until next season, we'll continue to talk in other ways, and if we make some more videos in the meantime, so be it. But we'll look forward to making some more videos about Season 2 of the Exorcist TV series. So until then, next time, boys and girls, cheerio for now.